Hi, how you doing? Justin here again, and we're starting stage 3. And as usual, we're starting off with a look at a new chord. And the chord that we're going to be doing in this video is the G chord. Now, G chord's a little bit stretchy compared to the other chords that we've looked at so far. It's got notes on opposite sides of the neck to each other. And personally, I found G chord really hard when I was learning. I was only pretty little when I was learning, and my fingers were pretty short, but it's still possible, no matter how little you are, it's still possible to play a G chord, but it is going to be a little bit stretchy. So let's get to a close-up and have a look at this new chord. Okay, so here's a close look at our G chord, and as you can see, we've got this bit of a stretch here between the second and third fingers. That's the nasty bit I was talking about there. So it's not too hard, but it's a fairly difficult chord when you first start. At least I found it was. So let's go through one bit at a time. First of all, first finger, second fret, fifth string. Not particularly difficult, that one. Reaching over now, second finger, third fret, sixth string. Now making sure that that's nice and round and that you're using the fingertip. If it's too flat, you'll be muting all the strings. And then here, with the third finger, is having to go down on the thinnest string at the third fret. Now, there's quite a few common problems with this one. First of all, a lot of people have trouble with positioning of that third finger. They're either like this, where it's too round, and the finger is kind of pushing down. It's going to be pushing the string off, and the fingernails are going to be getting in the way. The solution here is bringing those knuckles back around a little bit, so they're back underneath the fingerboard a little bit more. That should straighten that finger up. At the same time, it's very important that this one is round enough not to be muting all of those notes underneath, because we really need to be getting those three strings in the middle open. So making sure that it's not this. That's the other common thing, is this finger being too flat. So make sure that's nice and round. Now, if we go through and play it one note at a time, as you know that you should when you practice, first note shouldn't be a problem. I can't imagine why you might have a drama with that note. Second note. Sometimes this is a problem because the second finger is touching the fifth string just at that point. So that's quite common for that to be happening, but it's not right. You need to get that second finger rounder to free up that fifth string. Now the next string, the D string, if it sounds like this and it's not ringing out properly, it's because the underneath of the first finger is to blame. So you need to get the first finger working onto its tip a little bit more. G and the B strings are usually okay with this chord, and then we just got to make sure that that note is good. Some people, for some reason, try and put their third finger right back far away from the fret. I don't exactly know what causes that, but it's definitely not a good idea. But if you remember me talking before about trying to lift up this part of your hand and kind of twisting your palm that way, that can help if you think of that a little bit, to try and keep your fingers nice and round. Well, I hope you have fun playing G. It definitely was a struggle for me, but it's a really used chord. It's one of the 5 most basic shapes on guitar, and one that you really can't avoid. So spend a bit of time working on that G chord. It really is a cool one. There's quite a few different ways of playing G that you may have already seen in from other people or other courses, or you've seen your friends play it another way. I'm going to go through that in one of the later stages. I'll show you all of the different variations of playing an open G chord, but this is really the one that I'd recommend that you start off with. There's other factors in it that I don't want to go into that make it kind of a really good one to learn. In fact, no, I am going to go into it. It helps you develop the stretch between your second and third finger. If you try and do a G chord with 2 notes on the thin string, it kind of means you're not getting as good a stretch in between those fingers. So try and stick to this way of playing the G chord for now, and we will be covering the other ones later. So now we're on to the last difficult open chord, the last of the big 8, which is the C chord, and that's even stretchier.